I was gonna.
So
I was
last
gonna put on
night,
some lipstick. Oh, sorry.
I was too,
So
but
last
now I
night,
don't dare to get up. All right,
yeah,
can we start this thing, baby?
yeah,
So last night, you and I were FaceTiming,
yeah.
and we'd been on the phone for probably 45 minutes, talking about our business and talking about other stuff, personal and professional. And as we were hanging up, you said, "Mom, I have something I need to tell you." And I said, "You do?" And you said, "Yeah, but no, never mind. I don't think I can deal with it now." Do you remember this? Do you remember this?
Yeah. Yep.
So the mother in me said, "Okay, all right, fine." And then you said, "You don't want to know?" And I said, "I will be glad to know when you want to tell me. So why don't you, from this point, you tell me and I'll recreate what happened."
Okay,
How I
so
responded.
you are so good at boundaries when I don't want you to actually utilize them, but when I do, you don't. I'm like, why is she not inquiring more? This is not her nature. So,
I can't do anything right.
oh my god, classic narcissistic mother TikTok. I've seen so many TikToks about moms being like, I can never do anything right. And it's like, do you have a narcissistic mom? I don't. She's just annoying.
Yeah, I guess so. Let me just text Gil and ask him to bring me a Diet Coke.
That's
Honey, comma, we are recording, but could you bring me a new Diet Coke? Thank you.
Did you say a nude Diet Coke?
Why am I even laughing?
Okay. So, back to the story. So my mom has this god-awful habit of sticking random crap in my bag as I'm trying to leave. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And she does it, like, right as I'm literally about to leave, so I can't fight it. And so, I'm like, as I'm leaving, she just throws something in my bag as I'm literally carrying it to the car to go home. And she's like, you need to photograph this. It's an autograph book. And I'm like, okay. So I get home. My house is in disarray already because I've got a lot of things happening in my life. And so it has taken away from upkeep in my own home. So there's seldom a clear surface in this place. And so I get home and I'm like unpacking my bags and I'm like, oh my god, whatever this is, and it's in like not a manila folder, but like an envelope to ship things in. And
Manila envelope.
So, but is it a manila envelope? Isn't that like just the file envelope?
We've had this discussion probably on a podcast before.
We have?
This is a manila envelope.
But it wasn't in that. It was in a shipping thing.
Oh, okay.
So anyways, I put it down and it's balanced on top of something. Hey, Lemon, stop. Hold on. Lemon, leave it. Leave
Lemon
it.
made her entrance.
Leave it. No. So, yeah, Lemon knows what I'm about to say because she's the culprit in this story. My God, can we ever get through a story? And a 30-second story takes me 15 minutes to get through. So, long story long, I get home and I place this thing whatever it is, I don't even look inside. I don't take anything out. I'm just like, um, sorry, my dog is nesting, like moving the blanket. Can you hear her?
No.
Okay. Should we start over?
Yes.
Okay, so my mom gives me this. She hands me this package. And she's like, you need to photograph whatever's in here. I'm like, all right. Fine, whatever. You're annoying. Stop giving me stuff. She left a bag of stuff here recently. And I'm like, what is this? I thought it was hers, so I set it aside. And she's like, that's not your doll from Mexico? And I'm like, no. I don't know what this doll is. What's happening? I don't want this stuff. I'm getting smothered in stuff right now already. And so I had left it kind of on top of a couple other books in my living room. And it's been there for maybe 2 weeks. I still have yet to remember what's inside of it and what I need to do with it. So I get home from work the other day, and it was a really long day. I was exhausted, emotionally, physically, and I walk in the door, and Ryan just goes, I have something bad to tell you. And I'm like, can't a girl just come home and not have someone say, I've got something bad to tell you? Because that seems to be a common thread in my life right now. And he was like, I was on my computer for an hour or two playing video games, and I didn't see Lemon, my dog, for, I don't know, the whole time. And I should have known that she was doing something bad. And then I'm just like, literally like, okay, what did she chew? Like, just tell me what she chewed. What did she ruin? Because I don't have a single bra left. Because it's usually my bras. And he was like, your little photo book? And I was like, huh? And then he pulls it out, and I was like, Ryan, that is my mom's autograph book from the 1960s. It is, I don't know if you can tell, but, like, there's, like, bites taken out of it, and, like, it's just, I'm like, oh my God. Out of everything she could have chewed, a bra's a bra. I can replace that. I can't replace my mom's autograph book from the 1960s. And I'm like, she wanted me to photograph that for a Substack. And I'm so upset. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't even deal with telling her this. I'm so stressed out. So that's been weighing on me for, like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 days before you and I talk. So last night we hop on a phone call, and then that's when we had our conversation. And come to find out.
Yeah.
Do you want to
jump
finish
in here?
Yeah, do you want to finish the...
So she says, Lemon chewed up or destroyed your autograph book.
I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Mom.
I did what I'm doing right now. I'm like, Hilary, that's not my autograph book.
This is me. What are you talking about? This is not your This is your autograph book. I didn't even think to look through it. It's still in the plastic.
You didn't think to look what autographs might have been in there and destroyed?
No.
I mean, my goodness, I could have had some famous people in there.
Oh my God, did someone draw a penis in here?
Stop it! No.
It's not...
I don't know what that is.
Poorly drawn, whatever it is. Okay, explain what this autograph book is.
So, back in the 1960s, for like 13-year-old kids or younger or whatever, it used to be a thing. Actually, I started way before then. Used to be a thing back before people could get on the computer and talk to their friends, where you would collect autographs, kind of like what you did when you were in high school, where you got, or junior high, where you got people to sign your yearbook. So, you didn't do that?
No, I did. I'm looking through this autograph book, and tell me why. There's this little text that says, what? Did you look through this?
No, not really. It's not mine.
What dirty children need in tiny children's writing. Excuse me? What the hell is going on in this book you sent me? Did you send me a crime? Oh my god.
I'm getting nervous with you looking any further.
I know, well now I'm just enthralled. Should I read the whole thing? Okay, so carry on. So far, I've found a weird little note and a tiny drawing of something phallic. These are the things my mom will just randomly eBay to my house, by the way. I was waiting for a package, and I thought I got scammed. I was like, this is a bunch of fucking notebooks. They're just old notebooks. Someone just put these in at the weight so they could steal. And then I was like, I should ask my mom. And she's like, oh, those are mine. Can you save them for me? I'm like, you ordered a bunch of, like, spiral notebooks from 1980.
For a picture. Aren't you a photographer?
No. Not anymore.
We'll get back to those notebooks later, but I think we should proceed forward with this story. So, back when I was... What's happening?
I should stop reading this. Susan, June 8th, 1961. Speaking of shoes, bananas are good slippers. Your friend Beth Schuglerg. Oh. What's happening here? You having a leakage?
I forgot where I was.
Oh my god. Every time we think we're gonna have a really structured episode, this happens.
I don't think Gil got my text message. But anyway.
You can yell to him right now.
No,
no. Gil!
So, back in the 60s and the 50s, probably the 40s, whatever, autograph books were a thing. So people took them around with them and got their friends to sign them, their school friends usually, or famous people.
Yeah.
So, I don't know where I got the autograph book. I feel like my grandmother gave it to me. But it was a little red autograph book. And I don't know whose autograph I had in there. I think I had Miss Maine's or something, but...
Miss Maine?
Yeah. Like the beauty
foreshadowing.
queen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, my mother was going to interview Betty and Barney Hill. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, they were abducted by aliens in the White Mountains. I know all about them. I love them.
So probably they're very well known. And I'm sorry.
What's happening to you?
They're very well known. Oh, they were at the time because they became internationally famous because they had been taken by aliens.
Abducted. Taken.
And so my Betty Hill and one of my mother's good friends worked together. I think they were social workers. And so my mother was taking a sociology class, and she was writing a paper about what was then called interracial marriage, and So she wanted to interview them. And she did.
Are you
So-
okay?
I'm having one of those experiences where, as I'm
I
talking,
think you were abducted.
the words that are coming out of my mouth are not what I'm thinking about in my head.
That's
So,
called ADHD.
I'm telling the story and the words are coming out, but
I can tell nobody's home.
so 13-year-old me said to my mother, they're going to the Art Linkletter show. Art Linkletter was a famous talk show host, and he had a lot of TV shows through the ages in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And I said, can you please ask them to take my autograph book to Art Linkletter?
First of all, why would you not ask for their autographs? I'm severely disappointed in that. Why wouldn't you ask for their autographs?
That thought has never crossed my mind.
You're like, hey, next time you're abducted, could you have the aliens sign this for me? Oh my god.
So my mother dutifully brought the autograph book to them, and that's the last it was ever seen. I just realizing this is
A mystery within a mystery.
so.
Betty and Barney Hill stole your autograph book. Oh my god.
Okay, so
I've never heard that detail of this story. Or maybe I just it never locked into my brain. I don't know. But this is good.
It's a tiny story, but it's getting better. So flash forward 60, 70 years. 60 years, I guess.
Now, today.
Flash it now. Flash forward 60 years.
I'm gonna have to put a content warning on this episode. Everyone, for some reason, her nose will not stop running.
That's so gross.
It's endless. And we had a dangle. Why is that happening to you? Suddenly.
I can't catch my breath.
I'm gonna have to censor that. Okay, what I was saying is her nose, my mom's nose just keeps running endlessly like a toddler. Like a little toddler baby.
Oh my god, I can't get control of myself.
Are you allowed to be crying right now?
What?
Are your eyes okay to cry?
Yeah, my eyes are okay to cry.
She just had eyelid and eye lift.
Okay. So.
Oh my god.
So, I save a lot of stuff, as we know.
Oh,
Like a
you
lot
don't
of
know. Yeah.
silly stuff. And it always bugged me that I lost my little red autograph book.
Yeah.
So, about 6 months ago, I started doing an investigation.
A paranormal investigation?
Yes. And I highly recommend newspapers.com to anyone.
They
who
have
needs to do
got
an
to sponsor
investigation.
you.
Yeah. I have found so much information. I've solved several personal mysteries on newspapers.com.
Personal mysteries? That's
Several.
another Substack we can add on.
Yeah, that would
person.
be perfect.
Not that we aren't doing too much already.
So, I didn't realize how funny this whole story was until we started talking about this, because so I started looking for stuff about them.
Mm-hmm.
And my goal was to find out the date they appeared on the Art Linkletter show in 1960. I think it was 6.
You
Which
find it?
You might think would be easy to find. I went to a list of poor Art Linkletter's shows, not poor Art Linkletter. I don't know why I said that. I went to a list of shows, and
Linkletter.
they had year after year of who had appeared on what episode. Except 1960, I think it was 6. Didn't have them enumerated. So I hit a roadblock. Boing. Like, how am I going to find out when they were on the Art Linkletter show? So I abandoned the research for a while, because
Boing.
sometimes you need to, step back, take a breath, and regroup. And I started.
Where were you 10 minutes ago when we were trying to set up this podcast?
So then I started. Every once in a while, I'd go on newspapers.com and try to find out what Barney and Betty were doing in the 1960s and when they saw Art Linkletter. When suddenly one day, I found the clip. I found a picture, a newspaper clip. I yelped out, "Whoop!"
Where were you?
In my bed.
Okay, yeah, I should have known.
That's where I live. And I had proof of the actual date that they. So I wrote that in my life timeline.
Okay.
Because I am writing a memoir. And I carried on, but it was still bugging me that I wished that autograph book might be somewhere.
Wait.
So
I'm not sure how long that was unplugged, but I didn't need to be talking anyways.
So, my mother's friend that had originally introduced her to Barney and Betty Hill, I found her obituary. She died several years back. And I knew she had one son that I'd met a long time ago, like 60 years ago. And I tracked him down, which wasn't too easy. He had a lot of addresses, and he apparently did not want to be found necessarily. I mean, that's my conclusion.
Unlike you.
Right.
You're begging to be found.
So I wrote him a letter. And the first line was like a letter. Not handwritten, but typed. I wrote him a letter, and I said, dear so-and-so, I don't know if you remember me, and this is going to sound really wacky, but... And then I told him the story about what I've just said to you before. You know, this man's now in his 70s. And I tell him the story, and I said, I'm just wondering if by any chance that autograph book might have been in your mother's stuff.
As if.
And
That's
I mailed it.
Oh, I'm so excited. What happened next?
I mailed the letter, and I had put my email address in there, and he did email me.
Wow.
A while later and said something to the effect of, sorry, my mother died in, 5 years ago, and we settled her estate, and I don't have any of her stuff, or whatever. He said it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I feel kind of silly, but not really, because when you are an investigator, you have to go down a lot of these things. So then, this isn't a linear investigation. I've got a lot of investigations going on, and I can't focus on anyone, I'm investigating a lot of ex-boyfriends.
Yeah.
Trying to find out where they are now, if they still look good, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Do any of them still look good?
Couple. Yeah.
Okay.
So then I was reading some more about Betty and Barney, and I got like really sucked in one night, just sucked into the whole thing and the details of the abduction and all of that. And I found the University of New Hampshire has an archive of their correspondences, newspaper articles and stuff, and a lot of it's an online archive. So I hit the jackpot with that one, and I thought maybe my autograph book. landed there.
You think that your autograph book landed in Betty and Barney Hill's archive at a university? That's the spirit.
So I spent like an hour like looking at the newspaper articles and letters and other things. I don't find anything, but I could see that the archive had been created or set up by I think it was a niece. And
who's a niece?
What?
Who's a niece?
Like a nephew?
I know.
Oh, okay. And so she is actually, I can't think of her name either because I didn't know that this story was going to be told today, but she has written a book and published a book that came out a long time ago about the whole alien abduction. And I found her email address and I tell her the story and say, I know this is a long shot and I'm pretty wacky, but that autograph book doesn't happen to be in the UNH archives, does it?
Okay.
And she wrote back to me right away.
She said, "No, you idiot. It's their archive." They're like, "Who's this Claudia Bonzi?" No way. They tossed it.
So it's so funny telling a story and realizing how absolutely idiotic and out of this world this is. So she said, I'd have to go back and look at it. I think I was embarrassed when I read it. I'm sorry to say, or something like that. Like she felt bad for 13-year-old me.
Yeah.
I have not come across any autograph book in their stuff.
Okay, but
belong to you.
Do you think they had an estate sale? Because now I'm like, shit, I wish we went to the estate sale. I bet it was so cool.
It was right in New Hampshire where they lived.
I think people would really love my estate sale.
They would.
If I died right now? Yeah. Huge hit. That's the goal. Okay, so where do you think it ended up?
I think they threw it away, of course. I mean, first of all, it was a strange thing. Are you going to go be on a talk show with some celebrity host and yank out an autograph book from an unknown 12-year-old back home and say, could you do us a favor and sign this, Art?
I actually have a theory.
Okay.
Annie never gave them the book. She just took it to appease you. Because I feel like, as a parent, I would be like, I'm not going to ask them to bring this autograph. But, like, be like, oh, yeah, I'll send it to them. Hopefully they give it back.
Damn, another mystery that I'll never know the answer to.
Yeah. What if Annie tossed it in the trash? She went out to the middle of town. And she was like, Lynn will never know. Tossed it right in the trash.
Doesn't seem likely like her, but...
No, it doesn't, but...
Anyway, so I always longed for that
Art
autograph
Linkletter.
book. So a couple of weeks ago or so, I got online and I found one that looked more or less like the one I had. Ordered it and was going to write this story for Substack. And I just wanted an image of it. I wanted you to take an image of it.
It is really cool, and I'm glad to have it. Wish it was intact, Lemon. There are some funny little things in here. Bob Boston. I loved that story. What a mystery. I kind of feel like my theory about Annie being like, yeah, I'll give it to them, and then she never did.
I think that's a likely scenario.
Would you, like, think of you're different, though. I think you would have.
That would have driven me crazy if I had to get somebody's autograph to some kid I didn't even know.
Yeah, some freaking kid. Don't even know. They're like,
but they had survived the aliens, so they should have had no fear about anything else.
Sorry, my dog is scratching herself on the bed that my laptop is sitting on. You good, bro? Okay. What'd you say?
I don't know.
It could. Here's the other theory. It could have been abducted again with them because they say that once you're abducted once, you're abducted multiple times. You're not just abducted once.
There wasn't any evidence or proof of that.
Of their abduction?
Of subsequent abductions.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, if they were abducted again, maybe that night on the way to Art Linkletter, they could have been abducted with the autograph book. The aliens could have been like, "What's this?" Maybe they were abducted on the way home, and the aliens were huge fans of Art Linkletter. And they were like, "Oh shit, we're keeping this. They're not going to miss it."
One time.
Okay, loving your energy at all of my commentary.
Sorry, I kept it up pretty well throughout, but I have a little postscript. You know how I like to say.
I've literally not spoken until this moment.
Do you want to hear my postscript to the
Sure,
story?
yeah, I would love to.
Your uncle was coming out of the men's room at a rest stop somewhere. And Art Linkletter was going in, or some version of that. And Art Linkletter had a show that was called Kids Say the Darndest Things. He was well known for. And your uncle, I do believe, if I have the story, just looked at him and goes, "My kid says the darndest things."
How old? When was this? The 90s? 80s?
Yeah. Must have been the 90s, because he didn't, as far as I know, he didn't have any kids before that.
When did Bill Cosby start hosting? Ugh.
No, don't veer that way.
Well, I have to acknowledge it if I say his name.
No, but I mean, we don't need to talk about him.
No, but I'm just asking. I didn't watch it. I watched it with Bill Cosby, not Art Linkletter. Like, I knew it as a Bill Cosby show.
Oh! I wasn't making the connection.
That's why I said it. I just didn't know when he left.
Yeah. Well, I can investigate, but the story's already out there. So, at some point on Substack, I will produce a story retelling this, if you can make a picture of that autograph book.
Who knows now? My God, it's destroyed. We launched a Substack. We
sure did.
We haven't talked about that yet on the pod.
Right. So there may be people listening that have no clue what a Substack is.
Do you want to describe what it is? Because I tried to today and couldn't.
It's basically writers and creators who are... If you think about what a blog is, it's a way better version of just a blog.
It's like a
They have-
blog, also newsletter. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the writing for the most part is polished and geared to certain audiences in several different categories.
I would like to
And-
interject and say that a lot of people I follow on Substack are not polished writers. And
Okay.
I like that format too. So I think it can kind of lend either way. I think you follow probably a little bit more polished, older crowd on there. And then I follow
That's-
a younger, like, talking about fashion and talking about, like adding links of cool things they found or whatever. So anyways, sorry. There's just like a bunch of different genres.
That's right, and you're absolutely right about that. So, Hilary and I have gone in and made a Substack under our My Mother's Diaries imprint, and so we send out a story every Monday, a true story, and
Or is it?
funny, or is it?
Or is it? No, they are true and mostly funny.
Mostly funny, and you get subscribers to joins, hopefully paid subscribers, but
To joins?
most, to join,
Okay.
to sign up. I'm not explaining this very well. Anyway, check us out at Substack. We're My Mother's Diaries.
I would like to say that, just to speak, not for my mom, but about my mom, that her first love language was and has been writing. So I think this is a really cool way to see her in a different light than like what is here and what is on TikTok, because I think Substack has been a place where she's probably been most excited about creating stuff, because she has already written so much and like already is ahead of so much. And it's gotten me excited about writing again, because I used to write a lot more and I've stopped, and I love storytelling, but I'm not a writer like she is. I enjoy writing, but I'm not like, I'm going to offer a different kind of viewpoint, I think, once a month. And I think it's a good practice for me too, to be writing once a month and just trying to like find joy in life. And
So Hilary will be having her monthly article
Period.
on Substack.
I'm going to call it my period piece.
Your period piece.
Ooh, I'm getting ideas actually. Laura had to teach me how to use a tampon by coaching me behind a door. Now tilt it up a little bit. And when I asked Courtney when we were on vacation in Mexico if she had had her period yet, she said no. She lied. She had already had it. She's a dirty liar. I think
See how quick-
eventually it would be fun to have like guest writers too, because my cousin Courtney is so funny and a great writer. All of my cousins are great writers actually.
Yeah.
And all great storytellers, and everyone is just like very talented. My brother's a great storyteller too.
Yeah.
Still want a Coke?
I'm a little bit.
Do you hear
I'm a little
Gil?
bit tired.
I don't think you can hear Gil, but he wants. Do you want a Coke?
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
What a delivery. I think I have a prompt of what I want to write for the next Substack, and this is hard for me because my mom is my editor, and you've always been my editor. I've always
Well,
said,
Think about me. You're my manager.
first of all, I think about you enough, so you need to relax. I think about you more than any daughter should be thinking about her mom.
Yeah, true.
But I have a piece in mind that I have a piece of my mind that I want to write about that I don't want you to read until it's published.
Oh, that's a leap of faith.
I know. So I'm gonna need to hire
But
a.
I understand that.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. So that might be my first piece, but I am working on a couple other ones too.
Okay.
It's hard.
And that will be out in a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, so this coming Monday, my mom has her third one coming out.
Right.
And then
My third baby coming.
and then the first Thursday of every month, our paid subscribers will get a bonus newsletter. What's it called? I already forgot.
Uh.
I almost said libations.
All I could think of was obsessions. but what is it?
You wrote it.
Observations?
No. So, anyways, you should pay us money because we're really locked in and know what we're talking about. What is it? Starts with an L.
I don't know.
Losers.
might
Anyways, and then I will do one a month. So my mom will be doing 3 a month, and I will do one a month, and then there's a bonus newsletter every month for paid subscribers. And truly, thank you to everyone who has become a paid subscriber because.
Or a subscriber. I mean, everybody.
Nah, screw you if you're not paying us. No, everyone. Like, we got more. So I didn't know what to expect. I thought we were gonna get like 10 people, and it's really cool to see how many people have subscribed, and it just gets me so excited that people are interested in what we're doing. It still shocks me because we're just a couple of.
Then I go back and reread what we've written, and we're kind of funny.
Yeah, we are kind of funny. We try.
We try.
But we don't try that hard.
Yes, we don't have to. It comes naturally.
Yeah, good save. Yes, we do. We try very hard. So, what did I call you about this week that we wanted to talk about on the pod?
I wanted you to tell the story about the comb. It's a brief story.
Okay, so I have gotten really into doing the 1920s finger waves in my bangs. If you don't know what that is, I feel like you have to Google an image or Google image search that. But it's basically this like flapper hairstyle from the 20s. And I've been doing it when my hair's a little greasier and I haven't washed it that day because I have to really gel the front of my hair. And so I got this from my mom where I get an idea and I don't necessarily have all the tools I need to implement this idea, but I'm like, I have to do it right now. And so I half-ass it because I don't have all the tools to do it, but I try. And so the first time I did it, I was like, I needed a comb. I needed this like a long flat comb because you have to be very precise with like how you're doing the waves and where you clip things. And you have to have like sopping wet hair and then like really gel it down. So it's a precise, it's math. And you need the tools to create the art. I was using this like thick brush that it was not helpful. But I was like, I have to do it right now. I have to do it right now. Ryan, my husband's bald, so he's no help. There's no combs in this house. So I did ask him though. And he was like, I thought I had combs somewhere. And then I was like, but why? And he's like, good point. I don't think I do. Oh, I forgot to tell you this part. I did find, I'm not kidding when I say it was about an inch tall, tiny comb in his bathroom drawer that I tried to use, but it got stuck in my hair. My hair's pretty thick, so it got stuck, and like it was like it's literally a comb an inch big, and I was like, "What is this for?" Apparently, it's for his beard. And so I did try. So, anyways, we had to drive to Boston for an appointment, and on the way back, we stopped at one of the rest stops on the highway, and so Ryan was like, I'll pump your gas. And I was like, okay, I really need to get a snack or something. So I went into the rest stop, and the way it's set up, I had never walked into the rest stop from the back end where we're parked for gas. And
Yeah.
so there's a woman standing outside of her car, and I thought, or outside of the booth at the gas part, and I thought she worked there. So I was like, hey, like, can you get into the convenience store from back here? And she was like, oh, I don't, I don't think I told you this part. Oh, I mean, I don't think they have security cameras back there, so. I was like, wait, huh? I think she thought I, like, wanted to take something. And she was like, well, there's no, and then it's like, nobody's working back there, so you probably could. And I was like, okay, I feel you heard something different than what I actually said. So I just keep walking, and there's a big entrance right there. So I go in, and I realize that what she said was there. I think she did think I wanted to steal something, because there were no workers, and there's just this like computer where you self check out at the convenience store, and that's why she's like, I don't think there's any cameras in there. I'm like, did you steal something? Like, why do you know this? So I am grabbing like, I grabbed mints and a drink. And so I grabbed the mints and drink, and I see that wall when you're traveling, you know, at like the airport or like at these rest stops, they have like a wall of like to-go Tylenol, mouthwash, toothbrush, whatever, like random things that you may have missed. And I was like, oh, I wonder if they have a comb. And so I walked over there, because it's one of these things, like, I'm not in a place where I could just get a comb ever. I guess I could at the grocery store or something, but whatever. I go over there, and I'm like, oh, a comb! So I find it. It's $1.49. And so I go to the self-checkout, and it's not a normal self-checkout. It's literally just, like, a POS computer that they've just placed on a random table out in the hall. And so I'm like, this is weird. But I scan my items in, I clock out, I check out, run my card, and there's a couple standing behind me waiting to check out. And so I turn with my stuff to leave, and it scans the comb again. And I was like, oh, shit. And so like, I'm so sorry, let me just delete this off of here for you. I'm clicking every button. I cannot figure out how to delete the comb off of the screen. I'm like, what? And they're watching me, and they're like, what is this woman doing? And I'm like trying to find the exit, and then I go to the like help button. I'm like, help, and the only option is to call this local phone number. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know why you can't delete anything off of the screen. Like, that seems so crazy to me. That, like, you can scan things to buy, but you can't delete anything off the screen if you accidentally scan something. And the woman is just, like, fed up with me. And she's like, I'll just buy a second. I'll just purchase the comb. Like, it's fine. And I was cracking up because I'm just like, she's probably like, why is this woman buying a comb? Why is she in here buying a comb? What an annoying purchase. And in my head, I'm just like standing there like, doy. I'm like, are you sure? I panic and I leave. And I'm like, when I leave, I'm like, I should have just bought a second comb while I was in there. Like, I should have just gone and grabbed one and been like, I'll pay for this. But, like, I got so panicked, and that woman's like, just leave. Your energy is not needed in here. You need to leave. I'll buy. And then I was like, do you want to grab a comb if you're buying one? And she's like, no. Okay.
Didn't you tell her you were so sorry you'd give her $1.50, but you didn't have it?
I was like, I would have give you cash, but I don't know if I have $1.50, but I can get it in my car. And because the machine wasn't taking cash, like it was this whole thing. No, I only had a 20. Like I was like, dude, change. I don't know. It was so stupid. Anyways, I got the comb. I got to do my hairstyle. All is well. Not for that woman though. She lost $1.49 because of my antics.
And the other woman thought you were going in there to shoplift.
Yeah, and I did the opposite. They ended up making money from my visit in there. They didn't lose anything. They made $1.49. It was like a reverse robbery.
Reverse robbery.
But maybe for our next episode, I'll try to do the finger waves again. But here's the thing. I am so you. I've now researched so heavily about how to actually make good ones, and you need special clips from the actual 20s that kind of like clip your bang up, and it will like naturally set as a wave. So anyways, I'm on a journey. I did just get my hair done today. And my hairdresser is one of my friends, and she, on a whim, decided to do a trade with me, and I am going to style some outfits from my vintage and give them to her as a trade for my hair. So
that's great. And
I think that's
for any listeners who have any skills they might want to trade for vintage, you might want to contact Hilary.
Yeah, but it has to be a skill I'm interested in. Like, I don't need a juggler contacting me.
Okay. Call out to any potential juggler. Please DM Hilary. Please slip into her messages.
Yeah, slip into my DMs. Slide right in there. Now I'm just picturing a juggler listening to this and being like, now's my chance. I've been hoping she'd say that. But for real, if you're a puppeteer, I'm really into puppets. I'd do a trade for a puppet.
That's right.
Make me a puppet, I'll give you a vintage.
Okay. That's
puppet for vintage.
Yep.
I really do want to get puppets made of us. So they can,
the two of us?
Yeah, and then we can do a whole podcast episode, but we'll be their mouths.
There's the trade. If we got a puppet maker, we'll give you... Make puppets of us, and we'll give you some vintage.
Yeah, vintage makeover for puppets. I think...
Ooh!
I think we've got some... Can you imagine that instead of us talking right here, it's just puppet us?
Yes, I can, because we've had all kinds of imaginations, thoughts that went somewhere, and we've made them come true.
Well, have you watched 30 Rock?
Not recently.
Oh, well, so you have no memory of anything?
Some of it. I mean, I didn't really watch it, but I know the characters.
Do you know
the
that...
premise.
I think you need to take an improv class.
Why?
Because the whole premise is to go yes and, so then you can keep the bit going, but you, every time to me, you go, no.
Oh, sorry. I'm so used to being honest.
I know, yeah. You lie all the time, though.
Accidentally.
Oh, well, I feel like today might be a shorter episode than normal. I do want to just admit that my mom and I did do an episode recently.
We feel we need to confess.
Yeah, I feel like the people can sense it. I was not in a good mental health state, and we tried to rally through, but I listened to it the other day to see if we could salvage it, and I just found it to be not our best selves. Oh, my dog has an itch again, so.
On that note.
So, I feel like we're both in a better state. Oh, my mom's going to Florida for how many weeks?
There may be a juggler or a robber listening. I'll be back on Tuesday.
What if it's a juggling robber and he takes 3 or 4 items from you and just juggles them out of that? Yeah, she'll be in Florida, so we will get a little Florida. Oh my God. Hold on. This keeps unplugging. My microphone keeps unplugging, so hopefully you've heard anything from here.
If this doesn't record, I'll be sad.
Me too, but we'll get bits and bobs at least. So, anyways, my mom is gonna be in the South, and she's obsessed with Florida. She's like a huge conservative and is really gonna thrive. She's really gonna thrive out there with her people for a few weeks.
That is a lie.
She loves it out there. So, anyways, I'm gonna try to get her to record a podcast while she's out there too, and then we'll get together right when she gets back, and I'm sure, my God, there's gonna be some stories to tell.
Yeah, every day there's a story.
Yeah, it's
Even
true.
when I'm home alone. I mean, like recently, today I went
Yeah.
to the doctor.
Oh, wait, if you're following our Instagram, I did post in our stories a screenshot of your text to me today about the bird hitting your windshield. And multiple people replied and said, was the bird getting the blood test?
Anyway, there was a little confusion because the doctor was looking at my chart and said, well, at least you've got your magnesium problem under control. And I said, I have a magnesium problem? And the doctor said, wait, am I in the right chart?
Oh no, the poor woman with the magnesium.
Well, that was funny.
Yeah. She also got hit by a bird. What's happening with your bang?
No, I don't know.
You're kind of like going over the funniest part about your day. You're kind of blowing over it because when you texted me, you said, well, let me read it out loud. I'm going to read what you texted me.
Okay.
This is a classic text from my mom. A huge bird, a hawk or a turkey, flew into them. What? Into the middle of my windshield today. No damage to my car, I don't think. Can't say the same about the bird. Right after. This is the next text. Waiting for a blood test. That's it. 2 separate things. Written in the same minute. Or one sent at 11:37 a.m., the next at 11:38. Not even a breather, not even a moment for me wondering about the bird flying in. So my friend, who's a tarot card reader and psychic, she DM'd me and goes, "What the hell is with you and your mom and birds?" Because I have a lot of bird encounters. I've had a lot of bird encounters, and I said, "I don't know. You tell me." It seems like something a witch would know, but not me. Like, what's going on? Are we cursed?
You know, when I got out of my car, I looked at the driver's. I was looking over the car to see if there's any damage. It looked like feathers swept by the side of my car.
Like, are still there?
Like not that. Well, there weren't feathers there, but it had swished the mud. I hope the bird was okay, but
You didn't turn around and check?
I didn't know what to do.
I would have turned around.
It flew. I could have seen that it flew off, or it was off to its habitat. But I hope it wasn't hurt.
A tree? Anyways, I'm gonna sign off to my habitat, my bed.
Okay.
So sorry we haven't been consistent with this podcast, but we're glad you're here and listening if you are here and listening. And we hope that you're having a good spring. And we'll talk to you when my mom has a little bit of a tan, but probably not, because she's going to spend probably the majority of her time in Florida inside in some air conditioning. But we'll talk to you then. I'm not actually going this year to see her out there, so I'm gonna have to stay here in Maine where it snows.
I'm on my own.
Yeah, you're a lone wolf. No saving you this time. I did try to DM a hotel last year.
I thought I was a fox.
No, that's what an old man is. A silver fox. You're a cougar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
I did try to last year DM a hotel to see if we had enough TikTok followers to get a free hotel stay. They ignored.
How'd that work out?
They did not. So,
No.
if anyone's listening, we would like a free stay.
It was like a vintage. It was a really cool hotel.
It was really
Vintage.
cool. I did think it would be a cool place to do a podcast episode. But hey,
Yep.
maybe next year. Who knows?
Never know.
So, well, thank you, Dead Gowns, for our intro song, and thank you, Mom, for clocking in today. You really clocked in. And for your Betty and Barney Hill story. I loved it.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Okay, I love you.
Love you. Bye.